Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Greetings to each and every one of us. Welcome to today's webinar. And we are here on Deep Dive. Today is Tuesday, November 19th, 2024. And we are so excited and happy to open this webinar with a lovely signature tune by one of our global ambassadors in the name of Lerato Shadare, and the tune is In It to Win It. And Dr. Derek is going to play that song for us. And please, I just want to remind you to pay special attention to the nonverbal communication of the music as it plays. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and I'll pass it back to Dr. Derek. Over to you, Dr. Derek. Thank you.
With one heart and revolution. Your next stop is Unpassive.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Derek. Oh, wow. Artificial intelligence at its best. And yes, stand clear the closing doors because we are at the couple top, as Dr. Derek puts it. And that's what I can see on the train that is stopping at the Unpassive station in Dubai. Appreciate that. Lovely voice too, Sister Loretta. Okay, now we're moving next to the mindset. And we know that on a regular basis for ourselves or for whatever we are engaged in, the mindset is very, very important. Our CEO has promised us the physical and the mental, we have to work on it by ourselves. Are we ready on a regular basis, on a daily basis for ourselves and for what's to come? If not, and I know we are, but it's a reminder that we have someone each time we get together here who helps puts us in the right frame of mind or gives us a reminder of what we should be doing. And today we're having our sister, Queen Dr. T, celebrating her 2 years here, Dr. Derek, if I'm not mistaken, 2 years during the month of November in 2022. That's when Dr. T started presenting with us. I think it was October or so. But 2 years now we're celebrating her and she's celebrating with us as can be. And Dr. T is our wonderful international inspirational speaker. She is an author of 4 books, and each time she presents here, we know what that means, right? Quintonio puts out all the details out there, and I think we should really make an effort to grab one of them because they're very, very educational, and they may not only help you, but help your loved ones, not just for now, but in the future. So we're going to call on Dr. T to do the mindset for us today. Dr. T, welcome and keep smiling. I love the smile on your backdrop. Thank you, Dr. T. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Queen Debbie. You always do a wonderful, wonderful job. And I really hope that this message will encourage all of you. This is a message of exhortation. And you all know that I don't call myself a motivational speaker. I used to call myself a motivational, inspirational speaker. But I've changed that title. I believe that God has inspired me to change the title. I am a transformational speaker because I want to see the fruit. A person who wants to transform your life is a person who wants to see the fruit of it. When I tell you something, I don't want to just pat you on your back and send you on your way. I want you to come back and say, hey, Dr. T, that advice or that information really helped me. So I'm hoping that this message will transform you. Now, let me just share this. What I'm about to share tonight, you've heard it before, but I'm going to put it in a different perspective. Is that okay? I want to put it in a different perspective because as we get ready to come to the close of the year and begin to embark on a new journey for a new year, something we've never done before. We're getting ready to go into 2025 and we know nothing about 2025. We hope it will be a fabulous year, a productive year, a prosperous year. We hope that whatever challenges come our way, we'll be able to face them head on with success. So this is the reason why I chose this topic. You know, we want to always be on top of things, but sometimes life doesn't always give us a bowl of cherries. Sometimes it hands us lemons. But I always say that when life hands you lemons, make a lemon meringue pie. Okay? Make a lemon meringue pie. I like lemon meringue pie. So make a lemon meringue pie and just continue to go forward with one foot in front of the other. So this is why my message tonight is a message of exhortation. We're going to look at different areas of our lives that we deem successful. You know, we talk about success And if I were to ask everyone on this platform right now, we have 17 people who are in attendance right now. If I were to say to each of you, if we had the time, tell me what your idea of success is. And I promise you, most of you, and this is not to put you down, but most of you probably wouldn't even name the things that I'm getting ready to share with you tonight, because you would probably name things that are tangible. But I'm going to show you tonight areas of intangibility, things that you may have accomplished in your life that are intangible to the naked eye or to other people, but something that you personally accomplished, and it makes you feel good and become the best version of yourself now. So this is the reason why I'm sharing. So right now, my topic tonight is the 10 areas of accomplishments in your life that prove you are successful. Let me repeat that title. The 10 areas of accomplishments in your life that prove that you are successful. It has nothing to do with cars, money, status, notoriety, how much you travel, how many degrees you have, but it all has to do with you being authentic. You're spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. It's all about that. So we want to go through that right now. We want to cover. Now, today is going to be part one because we have another speaker. We want to give DrBenny her time where she can present her cybersecurity, all that she's going to be teaching us. So I'm going to do part one today, and I'll give you the other part next week. But the first area of accomplishment that when I get ready to tell you that you're like, wow, is that an accomplishment, Dr. T? Yes, it is. So the first area of accomplishment that you may not even be aware of as accomplishment is you've learned to be content. Think about that. You've learned to be content. You say that, you say, Jackie, see you, Jackie. Yes, you've learned to be content. That's an accomplishment. That's an accomplishment. Do you know how many people are not contented? They're so dissatisfied with their lives. But if you have mastered the art of saying, you know what? I'm not going to sweat the small things. I'm not going to sweat the small stuff because it's all small stuff. I'm not talking about being complacent. I'm not talking about settling, but I'm talking about getting to a place of maturity in your life where you learn to go with the flow. I'm not saying giving up your dreams or your hopes. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that right where you are, you understand that where you are is where you are. It doesn't mean don't dream. It doesn't mean don't hope. It doesn't mean don't strive to do better. It means that where you are, stay in the moment and appreciate that right here, right now. Having an attitude of appreciation. Having an attitude that no matter what it looks like right now, I can deal with this. I'm not going to fret it. I'm not going to sweat it. I'm not going to be anxious. I'm going to learn to be content. And if you have mastered the art of being content, you are successful. You're successful. And again, you've probably never thought about being content is successful, Dr. T. Being content is an accomplishment because look at all the people around. Look at all the things going on in the world. And you can tell who's not content. People who are alcoholics, people who are a crime, the things that are going on in our world that people are just doing all crazy stuff. Those are people who are not content. But people who are content are at peace. People who are content, they're hopeful. They're making plans for the future. But if they're not anxious about it though. They're just taking one day at a time, one foot in front of the other. They're learning that right now, I'm being mature, I'm growing, and I'm not going to worry about tomorrow. The Word of God tells us, don't worry about tomorrow. Stay in the moment. Be conscious of what's going on today because tomorrow has its own sets of issues, its own set of problems, right? So when you understand that being content means not being concerned about something you have no control over, you're well on your way to experiencing success. So again, that's number one. Number two, you faced your fears. Wow, that's a big one. That's a big one. That's a big one, Jackie. You faced your fears. How many of you can truly say right now in this moment that you have learned to face your fears? That's a challenge. I know for me, Dr. T, there are many doors, and I hate to even admit this to you, but I'm being transparent. There are so many doors that I did not go through because I was afraid. There's so many opportunities that I missed out on because I was afraid. I didn't want to come out of my comfort zone because I didn't want to expand myself because maybe it was a fear of failure, maybe it was because I thought people would laugh at me, or maybe because I just didn't feel confident in myself. But whatever the reason was, I missed out on a lot of opportunities. And I'm pretty sure many of you right now, if you're honest with yourself, you can say, Dr. T, that's me too. You may not be always forthright in making things happen the way you want them to happen. But when we get to a place when you say enough is enough, and you come out of your comfort zone, and you named D, she used to always tell me, "You're not tired, Tunishai." I said, "I'm tired, D, I'm tired." She said, "No, you're not. You're not tired." Because when you truly get tired, you're going to do something about it, right? What's insanity? When you continue to do the same doggone things and expect the same results. If you don't face your fears, if you don't come out of your comfort zone, how are you going to know all that you could have been? Some of the areas that we're fearful about, public speaking. That's one of the biggest fears, public speaking. But do you know some of you right now on this platform have the ability to be awesome public speakers, but you've never come out of that comfort zone because you want to let everybody else do it? Oh, I'm the behind the scene person. But maybe God wants you to be the in front of the scene person. Look at Moses. Moses was a stutterer. He said he was not an eloquent speaker. He was content being a shepherd. But what did God do? He put him in the forefront. Not only did he put him in the forefront, this man delivered a nation. How big can you get? How big can that be? And many of you right now have the potential to do great things, but you've got to learn how to come out of your comfort zone. So if you're one of those people on this platform now that can say, Dr. T, I can truly say that this year, 2024, there are things that I was afraid of, but I faced them head on, and I came out of that comfort zone, and I'm walking in those things that I was once at one time afraid of. Things like public speaking, maybe taking tests. Maybe there's something that you want to accomplish, but it entails taking tests. Overcome that. Making new friends. Some people are not comfortable making new friends. That's a fear. That's a legitimate fear. Starting a new project. Maybe you're the kind of person you may start something and you don't finish it. Being in the spotlight. I just mentioned that. Being in the spotlight. Okay? And just being authentic. Being authentic and not caring what other people think. These are areas that you want to face head on if this is an area that you're struggling in. But if you can say to me right now, Dr. T, I can truly say that there are things that I have struggled with, but I've come out of my comfort zone and I'm working really diligently on becoming the best version of myself, then I would say you are truly a successful person. That's an area that you've gained ground. That's an area that you're successful in. The third area, you have a healthy work-life balance. That's a big one. You have a healthy work-life balance. This is something that Dr. Derek, Dr. Queen JW have been talking about for forever, okay? Just being healthy. You're having a balance. My book that I've written, and I want Tony, if you don't mind, Tony, to put this in the chat, taking control of your life from the inside out. Taking control of your life from the inside out, ladies and gentlemen. 8 keys to fulfillment on your job and every area of your life. You must have a work-life balance. There's a Japanese word called karashi. It's spelled Karoshi, and it literally means death by overworking. Death by overworking. There are so many people who pat themselves on the back. Oh, I'm so busy. They think it's something great to be a workaholic. Oh, I'm too busy. You're too busy to build a new relationship. I'm too busy. You're too busy to spend time with your children. Oh, I'm too busy. Do you know how many people who have gained all this success, they've climbed the ladder of success, and they don't even know what their children are doing? They can't even tell you the last time they spoke to their parents. They can't tell you the last time they spent time with a friend. They can't tell you the last time they went to a movie just to relax and do absolutely nothing. They can't tell you the last time they read a good book because they're so busy, 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 busy. And what happens when they get so busy? Their immune system is compromised. That's right. How many times has JW talked about that, Dr. Derek? Your immune system is compromised. Your family life is compromised. There are more people who go through divorce, more people who break up in friendships because they don't have a balance in their lives. They don't eat right, obesity, diabetes, high blood pressure. All different insidious diseases come upon them because why? They don't have a healthy work-life balance. I shared with you all that years ago, before I was diagnosed with cancer, that was me. I chased the dollar. That was to Dr. T. I was chasing the dollar. Hey, if there's a dollar over there, I'm over there. If there's a dollar over there, I was over there. I told you it took me over 10 years before I had a physical. And I was dying on the inside and didn't know it. Why? Because I was too busy doing what? Not chasing a dream, not chasing my purpose, but chasing a dollar. And when you're chasing your purpose and your dream, then you have a healthy work-life balance. That's all part of it. You cannot be successful if you don't have a healthy body. You cannot be successful if you don't have a healthy spirit and a healthy mindset. And everything is in sync. You cannot be healthy. You cannot be balanced if you don't have those things in place. So if you can say to me, Dr. T, I know that right now I have a healthy work-life balance, then you are well on your way to being successful. You are a successful person. If you are content, if you faced your fears, and you have a healthy work-life balance, you are a successful person. See, I told you, you probably would have never thought, if I asked you to make a list of things that are successful, you probably would have never even listed these things. But look about it, think about it. These are areas that make you successful. Things that may be intangible. Or sorry, these are intangible, not tangible. Nobody may know that you're doing it but you. But you know on the inside is helping you become the best version of yourself. Number four, you've maintained long-term relationships. You can never measure success unless you can say to yourself, I know that I have been a great friend. I have been a great mother. I have been a great father. I have been a great parent or whatever. I have relationships. I've been a great wife, a great husband. You can never say that you've been successful in anything unless you know that your relationships are solid. You have a mutual respect for someone. You honor someone. You love that person. You accept that person. And you've been working diligently on these things. Do you know how many people do not know how to engage and be in healthy, long-term relationships? Long-term relationships, they define who you are. They truly define who you are. I've been knowing Tony for over 2 decades now. And I can say without a shadow of a doubt, we are solid. I don't think there's anything in this world besides death that can separate us. We're friends. And that's an accomplishment right there. That's successful to know that you have someone in your life that you know that you can depend on, that you honor, that you respect, and they help you become the best version of yourself because they're going to be for real with you. They're going to tell you when you're in error. They're going to tell you when you're too hard on yourself. They're going to tell you when you're doing all right. They give you your kudos. And that's the area that most of us need to really, really work on if you haven't worked on that. But if you can say to yourself right now, I know right now, if I can think of people in my life, if it be your husband, your children, associates, or just really close friends, if you know that you've maintained healthy, wholesome, long-term relationships, you are a successful person. Pat yourself on the back. Pat yourself on the back on that one, because that's an accomplishment in itself. That's a success that many people may not have that. But if you're in that area, if you're in that arena, pat yourself on the back because you are truly a person who is successful. And the last one that I want to share today, number 5, you've learned to say no. You've learned to say no. Now, I told you that you probably said, now, come on, Dr. T. Now, this is all area. I'm talking about areas of success. I told you would not think of these areas as being successful. But if you can learn to say no, you can't say yes to everything that comes your way. But see, I'm not talking to people who are just stingy, who are selfish, self-centered. There's some people who say no to everything because they don't care. They don't want to get involved. They don't want to become engaged. They don't want to give. They don't care. I'm not talking to those people. I'm talking to the people who are always giving. I'm talking to those people who always go beyond the call of duty. I'm talking to those people who are the go-to persons. Like, oh, you're the only one in your family that can solve the problem. You're the only one in your church that can plan an event. You're the only one that can do this or that. And you overcommit yourself, and then you find yourself being overwhelmed. You find yourself being depressed. You find yourself not being satisfied with your own life because you spend so much time in areas and arenas that you have no business having your hands in. And I know I've shared this with you before. I've shared this with you before. But if you can conquer this area and learn to say no without feeling guilty and prioritize what's important for your life, this is the key word. What's important for your life? What's going to validate your existence? What's going to cause you to be authentic? That's all part of being authentic. When you can learn to say no. No, I cannot put my hand in that. No, I cannot loan you that money. No, I cannot come and do the extra mile. No, I cannot come right now. No. It doesn't mean that you don't care. It just means that right now, what's important to them is not important for you. And you understand when to say no and when to say yes. That comes with discernment. That comes from having a heart and letting God lead and guide you. That comes from having an ear that says, listen to me, I don't want you over there in that arena. And when you learn how to say no, you're well on your way to being a successful person. Why? Because you're not going to be overwhelmed. You're setting boundaries for yourself. You're letting people know that I am not going to go any further than this. I cannot allow you to come into my life with these issues because you don't know how to deal with them. And all you're doing is putting me in your mess. You're just dumping on me. And whatever kind of advice I give you, you're not even taking it. How many of you know about that? When you try to help somebody, and instead of them learning from you helping them, all they do is continue to get in more and more hot water. So all you're doing is wasting your time. You're just spinning your wheels. And those are the kind of people that you have to learn to say no. God gave me a formula that I want to share with you all tonight. He used to always tell me, he said, Tunishai, I'm going to give you a formula, and I want you to live by this. It goes like this. Compassion minus wisdom equals foolishness. Let me say that one again. Compassion. Having compassion for somebody without understanding the full spectrum of what's going on equals foolishness. You might be helping somebody that God may be saying, I don't want you to help them. I'm trying to teach them a lesson. They're not learning. You're enabling them. You're enabling this person. So stay out of that arena. Let me deal with that. Don't put your hand on that. You're not helping on. All you're doing is making matters worse because all they're doing is when they get out of that honk, they're going to come back to you and do the same thing. My mother was a shopaholic. And my brother had to get her out of debt, not one time, several times. She didn't learn because she always knew she had that safety net. Oh, I'll just go to my son. He'll pay my debt. You understand where I'm going with that? And I'm pretty sure he became very depressed and overwhelmed because that's money from his household that he took care of a woman who was not learning her lesson. That's my mama. I loved her very much, but she didn't learn. And many of us have been victims of that. So if you're a person that you've learned to say no, you've learned to set boundaries, you've learned to stay out of arenas that you have no business having your hand in, then you're a person who's well on your way to being successful. Let me do a recap. Again, So if you've accomplished these 5 things that I just shared with you today, you've learned to be content. You've faced your fears. You have a healthy work-life balance. You've maintained long-term relationships, and you've learned to say no. Ladies and gentlemen, on Passivians, deep divers, you are successful. You are successful. I thank you so much for allowing me to share this message. I hope this has helped you transform your life today, and I hope that you'll take these 5 areas, pat yourself on the back. If you've accomplished these things, if you want to work on these things, work on these things. But it gives you a place to start. So being successful is not just having tangible things. Being successful is not just notoriety, but it's becoming the best version of yourself. I'm Dr. T, and thank you so much for allowing me to share. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. T, our transformational speaker of the day. Thank you.
Thank
Oh,
you.
wow, that was awesome, Dr. T. Yes, Unpassive is our diamonds.
Thank
And
you.
we have to what? Ensure that those diamonds are in a safe place, right? And those diamonds start with us.
Yes.
Within us. They live with us. And as you said earlier, Dr. Derek and Queen JW talk about health. Those are diamonds. Health is diamonds because they lead us, they make us to have a healthy life that leads us to the next step of our lives. Absolutely, practically, yes. Thank you. And for those steps that you mentioned, I think everyone on this platform, including me, is one when it comes to public speaking. I never wanted to speak in public. And when I'm speaking, I don't even want to hear myself. And I have never, for the last how many years, since 2020 in Unpassive, I've never ever listened to any YouTube where I had to say a single thing in it because I don't want to see or hear what I said. I remember the first time I spoke was in the Dream Team. It wasn't even Dream Team then, it was Win-Win on Passive because we had that's the name we had, Win-Win on Passive at the time. And it was January 2021. And people were calling me saying, "What is this we hear you talking about on YouTube?" I said, "What YouTube?" They sent it to me. When I saw myself, I deleted it immediately. So just to say what all those things, the healthy eating and being content, we are all guilty of it. Either one or all, or some, but we all are, and I'm guilty of all of them. And how I managed to be here, I don't know. I can't say, I cannot tell, but I still am not comfortable listening to any YouTube that has me live or otherwise. Anyone sends it to me, as I said earlier, I just delete because I do not want to hear all the boo-boos and the whatever. Anyway, I raised my case, but thank you so much. We've missed you, as Dr. Derek said in the beginning, that we missed you dearly.
Thank you.
And
I missed you guys
Dr.
too.
Sue says from head to toe, but welcome back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And we love you.
Thank
Queen
you.
Tony, you had your hand up before Queen JW. Queen Tony, please come back. Unless you're busy, then Queen JW can go ahead. Queen JW can go ahead. Maybe Queen Tony is busy. Yes, Queen Tony, please.
I have some background noise, but outstanding presentation, Dr. T. And in the 5 that you chose, I know I have some areas to work on. So I thank God you had shared that information. I look forward to the other 5 as well, but I'll start working on the first 5. So thank you very much.
We all need that. Yes. Yes.
Thank you, Queen Tony. Okay, it will be Queen JW and then Queen Sharon after that.
Good evening to everyone. Thank you so much, Queen Debbie. Thank you, Queen Dr. Benny, and most of all, thank you, Dr. T. Amazing, amazing as usual presentation. Yes, you are truly transforming lives here on Deep Dive. We appreciate you. We miss you. Like Queen Debbie stated, it's so good to hear your voice and most of all to see you, not only your voice. And yes, those 10 accomplishments or the first 5 that you have shared with us, yes, they are very important. I was just thinking of gratitude when you said, name something and then you list these 5. And those are things that will make us definitely successful. Because without any of these, we won't get anywhere, to tell you the truth. My mother always used to say, be content. And then I didn't understand it at the time when she told me, be content, but it always stayed with me, and it helped me to be content throughout my life, wherever I was. Not saying you don't push and you don't look for your dreams and live your goals or whatever it may be, but learning to be content, because if you're not content, you're going to run into a roadblock. You're going to destroy self-destruction, in other words. So content plays a major role and it will help us definitely to become successful. Amazing number 1 point, I will say. And facing our fears. And I could agree with Dr. T. I could relate actually, because it was times when, I wanted to get up. It was a comedy show and I was there and I wanted to get up because I love to make people laugh. And it looked like I just was staying glued to my seat. I couldn't move. And then I said, oh, I had an opportunity and I blew it. And I knew I did, because it was an opportunity to say anyone can get up. I was so scared and I stayed in my seat. But if we don't face our fears, we will never know how successful we could have been in that particular area. We hold our own self back. So we have to be very careful. And it's another great point. And having a healthy work-life balance. That is so important because, a lot of people, like Dr. T said, we overwork ourselves. I remember when I was doing a second job and I figure I get this second job, I make some extra money and I'd be able to do some extra things. But tell you the truth, I didn't even never saw the extra money. And not only that, my house was on fire. My kids was doing their thing. And so I had to quit the job. And I told God, you know what? Stretch my paycheck. And I never work a second job again. And thank God, because I don't think I would be able to do it at all. And I give kudos to those who do it, who can do it, But it's not you're not thinking of yourself. You're not thinking of your health. And your family need you more than that dollar, to tell you the truth. To hold your hand, to give you a hug, to bring you a glass of water. And those are the things, we get caught up. We get caught up in the world, and that's what God talks about. He that's within us is stronger than he that's of the world. So we gotta take heed and learn to live a healthy work-life balance and maintain long-term relationship. That is so important. You know what I mean? Because my mother always said you could count your friends on on one hand.
Yep, 2 fingers. Yep, that's right.
Okay, and I have 2 friends throughout my whole life, one more than the other. And I know her over decades. And she can tell me anything. Don't think we don't have our ups and downs.
Yes. Yes.
But because you're friends, you're supposed to have those and you're supposed to be able to overcome them. And we do. No matter how many people she called her friend, she always come back and say, Jackie, ain't nobody like you.
Come on. I got you.
And I'm so grateful, and people is always looking. And they can tell you where you're successful at sometimes when we don't ourselves realize it. People will say, you're a great mom. And I'll be like, wondering in what way, because sometimes we're parents, but we're not giving ourselves kudos and say, oh, I did this and I did that. My children are successful. No one went to jail or had any heartaches or anything besides the things of life. And I'm grateful to the Heavenly Father for that, because he helped me. It wasn't me by myself. You know, we are great because of him. And then talk about learning to say no. You know, that was something hard for me. I will say that. It used to be hard. I used to be, yes, okay, I'll do it, you know. But after a while, I was the one getting burned out. I was the one, you know, like Dr. T said, I was in the church, I was the treasurer, I was on the choir, you know, was doing all these things. I would take them where they need to go because they didn't have a car at the time. But I thought of it doing it for God. So it wasn't so bad with helping the church, but with people in general, not my family so much, but strangers that take advantage of me because I didn't say no, you know, when I could have. So thank you so much, Dr. T. That's an area that I still have to work on because sometimes I do still say yes when I should say no. So thank you for those 5 points. We appreciate you and we look forward to hearing the other 5.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Queen JW. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Queen JW. Thank you, Dr. T. And now we're going to pass the microphone over to our darling sister, signing in from Canada, Queen Sharon Whedon.
Hello, hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Dr. T, oh my God, what a great, great session. I really, really like what you had to say. I want to start off with saying no. Saying no from the time I could talk. I guess I always been that go-to person, especially with the family. Everybody that anything that happens to them, if they're in trouble, if they need money, or the dog. I remember my mom's dog went missing. Who do they call? Me. And I would stop what I'm doing and go and help them always. However, I was so bad at always saying yes that at one point in my life, I decided to go to a relax therapy clinic that taught me how to say no, believe it or not. They taught you how to say no. And I remember it was called the Dorothy Magic Clinic. And she's probably in heaven now because she was like 80 something back then. But we used to have to wear an elastic on our wrist. And every time somebody asked us a question, that elastic was supposed to remind us to say no. And we would have to click it and say no. And it was really, really hard for me. Like my friends used to set me up and they would like ask me the question and I would say no, no, no. And by the 4th time, they would give me some totally different story. And I'd be like, well, okay. And I'm like, no, you know what I mean? It was really, really hard, like for me to say no. But I actually started doing a lot better after I took that course. And I felt a lot better. And even then, I said yes more than I said no, but not as bad as what I used to. And I can actually say today I am a lot better because I did a lot of soul searching and I got rid of all the toxic people in my life. And the worst is family, though. Family is the worst because especially with my family, I'm always there for them no matter what. And they knew that, and they knew that they can call and ask me anything pretty much. And 9 out of 10 times I would stop what I'm doing and do it for them. And, so they would call me again for money or in trouble or whatever the case may be. And then it took me a long time to learn. I have 2 adopted sisters and a half brother in the U.S. So I hardly see my brother in the U.S. And as far as 2 of my adopted sisters, they only call me when they needed something. And then their kids, my nieces and nephews, started being the same way. And so, and I learned, the pandemic hit and COVID hit. And did anybody call me to see if I was dead or alive, if I needed anything, if I was okay? No, nothing. I even went on my sister's Facebook page. I'm hardly ever on Facebook, and I'm not even listed as a family member. I'm like, wow. Yeah. And so that hurt. And it took a lot of soul searching and a lot of tears. And even then, so I pulled back on them. But even then, I share my birthday with my baby sister, and we're 12 years apart. And I call my family on their birthdays all the time. But the truth of the matter is that they wouldn't call me if I didn't call them.
Wow.
And so it took a long time for me. And I'm like, every year, I'm like, I'm not calling her. Even though we share the same birthday, I'm not going to call her. I'm not calling. And then I would give in and I would call. And it's only been the last couple of years that I stopped. And then she started calling me. So that's what I want to say. Like, it's so hard sometimes to say no, especially if you're that person that is the person that people rely on. Because I'm very reliable, people always come to me. And again, the best thing to do is to clean house, get rid of toxic people in your life, and stand your ground. I also want to say about work. I started my own business 20 years ago. And when I first started my business, like I would take calls after hours. I would take calls on a Saturday or a Sunday, sometimes 10, 11 o'clock. I'm in the entertainment business. Sometimes they'd call me at 10, 11 o'clock at night. I would take a delivery. I remember for Carnival Caravana, my client was on what they call Jamaican time. And she would call me, and all of a sudden it's like 11 o'clock at night. I have this big truck pulling up with like 20 cases to, put up posters and flyers for. I had to, like Denise Jones, I had to stop and tell her, no, you're not going to deliver after 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So it was really, really tough, and I worked my butt off. And then finally I put a cut off, and I'm so glad that I did. So now I hired somebody to do certain things that, instead of me doing it all myself. And now I don't talk after a certain time at night, after 7 o'clock at night. I don't talk shop, and I don't talk. I leave Saturdays and Sundays for myself. So it's really hard to try, to put all these things in place. But I do feel so much better now that I have done that. So I really love what you had to say, and everything you were saying. I'm like, yep, that's me. Nope, that was me. Yep, that was me. So thank you once again. I really, really enjoy hearing you speak as always. And yes, I missed you too.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much.
Back to you, Sister Debbie.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for letting me speak.
Thank you.
Thank you, Queen Sharon. We missed you, but we're so honored and blessed to have you today. You came just at the right time to hear Queen T talk to us about those 5 lovely things to look out for. Yes, we missed you. We missed Dr. T, and you're in just at the right time. So thank you. So we're going to pause with the mindset and move forward to our next speaker, who is none other than the First Lady of Unpassive Queen, Sister Dr. Benny, who is going to talk to us about
malware. But before I say anything, anyway, proceed. I have to say something to Dr. T, right?
Yes, you go, you proceed, you say something to Dr. T, and then you proceed with our
Whatever.
malware topic for the day. Because I know I usually don't announce your topics because you come in with unique topics each time you have your presentation, you have unique topics. And I like it that way. So everybody just uncovers what the discussion is when you show up. I love that. A mysterious one. So over to you so you can talk about Dr. T and then you proceed with malware. And that's something that I need to make notes for myself. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Queen Debbie McCormick, for giving me this opportunity. I am honored to be here this evening. I will say good evening, good morning, good afternoon to all my brothers and sisters, my family, to my queens and kings around the globe. Welcome to this amazing webinar. Thank you all for coming. Seriously, I'm my king, Mr. Carlton. Yes, sir. Thank you so much for coming, Queen Sharon, Queen Dr. T, Queen Debbie, Queen GW, Queen Antoinette. Okay, let me stop calling your names. But I want to welcome each and everyone. The reason I'm calling or welcoming each and everyone is because I want to thank my father, your father, our Heavenly Father, for bringing all of us together this evening, this morning, this afternoon. Do you guys know why I always say it? A lot of people leave the world every second. So I am thanking him because he allowed me to see you guys today, this evening, this morning. It all depends upon your location. I also want to thank our Heavenly Father for bringing an important person to you and I. This person who is our extraordinary CEO in this world, should I say this universe. And his name is Mr. Ash Mofere. You guys notice that when I call his name, I smile, right? Because I have never seen a CEO like him in my life. There are places that I walk, I don't even see CEOs. I see but CIOs, no CEOs. But seeing a CEO that you can communicate with, that he can come and play with us, also talk about this company and the products. I am so amazed and I am touched. Extraordinary mindset queen, Dr. T.
Thank you.
With this, your topic and these 5 areas, I love everything, but there's one important thing that I want to let you know. Learn how to say no. A lot of people like me because I always say no. I say no because they're trying to intimidate me. I will do what I think is right for me, and nobody plays over my intelligence. Healthy lifestyle. And this thing about maintaining long-term relationship. Is it a relationship for a husband, a wife, or friendship? I'm just
All
trying
of
to
it.
find all of them. Okay.
All of it. Mm-hmm.
All right. I'll try one day to maintain a long term. I don't have any long term, but one day I will. But the most important thing is I will do what it takes to maintain a healthy life balance. I will try. Thank you so much. I love your presentation. I will see you next week. We miss you too much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Dr. Benny. Thank you so much. I love you guys too. Thank you.
All
Thank you.
right. As you all know, that every week I bring something. And the reason why I bring something, despite the fact that some people may think that it's not about unpassive, but they do not understand that there are a lot of people that goes to work, right? But they don't know certain things. And we do have our elderlies that they don't know that much. But by me bringing up certain topics, which is for hackers, I believe that they know that somebody is hacking them, right? So you're trying to help them to know that when something happens like this, these are the precautions that they have to take. So today, the topic is about malware and its types. Malware is a malicious software, and it refers to any software that is designed to cause harm, right? To cause harm that is designed to harm, cause what? To harm computer systems, the networks or users. Malware can also take many forms. Individuals and organizations need to be aware of the different types of malware and to take steps. So it's not only for organization, as I'm saying, it is for you and I. Papa, mama, I know that they don't know, but we can still talk to them, say, mama, this is what can happen. Because a lot of mamas, they are using their cell phone as well as laptops. My auntie is 74, but she has a laptop. Just to let you all know that is really important, right? So malware steals files once it is installed into your device. So it can get access into your personal data and it can misuse or, let me say, mishandle it. When you misuse or mishandle it, according to the hackers of personal intention. You guys know that there are a lot of hackers out there. And we have different types of malware. You have ransomware, you have adware, you have spyware. So I am going to share my screen, if you guys don't mind. I know Queen Debbie wants me to do something different. So Queen Debbie and Queen Sharon, give me a minute. Share. I hope. Queen Debbie, did I try my best? You see the advantages of and disadvantages of malware. All right. Malware. Malware is a software that gets into your system without user. You and I were users, right? Without your consent to steal what? Your private and confidential data, including what? Bank details and password. That's what malware does. So they can generate annoying pop-ups ads, right? And change system settings. Malware include what? Computer viruses, worm Trojan horses, ransomware, spyware, and other malicious programs. Individuals and organizations need to be aware of the different types of malware and take steps to protect their system, such as using the antivirus software, keeping the software and systems up to date. I know there was a time that I keep telling our brand ambassadors that since you have a cell phone, because a lot of our brand ambassadors, they don't have laptops. If you have laptops or cell phone, the manufacturers always send an update. So when the updates come, please just install it. If you don't install it, this is when the hackers come and destroy your cell phone or your computers. So keeping software and the system up to date and being cautious when opening an email attachment. Remember I told you guys about attachment, right? Or downloading a software from the internet. It is not good because some of the hackers, they can send you an email that you don't even know that particular individual. Now they ask you to click the attachment. You quickly click. Please do not do it, I beg you. Malware is designed to harm and exploit your computer or network. It can steal sensitive information like your credit card numbers you earn. It will disrupt your system operation and even allow hackers or attackers to gain unauthorized access into your device. So some types of malware, such as ransomware, encrypt your file and demand what? For payment. Now, if you don't pay, they will not unlock your computers or your files, while spyware will monitor your activities and send the information back to the attacker. That is what is happening. So additionally, malware can spread to other devices on the same network, making it what? Significant threat. Protecting your device with up-to-date antivirus software and being cautious about your open link and attachment, it will help to mitigate the risk. Okay? Cyber criminals, as you all know, there are a lot of them out there. Use malware, including all forms of malicious software, including what? Viruses from various purposes. Now, using a deception to induce a victim to provide personal information for identity theft, theft of customer credit card information or other financial information. Now, taking over several computers and using them to launch denial of service attacks against other networks, using infected computers to mine for what? Cryptocurrency, like what? Bitcoins. A lot of people are utilizing Bitcoins, right? So we do have a lot of malware, types of malware, but I am not going to give all of them today. One is virus. A virus is a malicious executable code attack to another executable files. Now, this virus spread when an infected file is passed from one system to another. Viruses can be harmless, or they can modify or delete data. So data is any information that you insert into your computer system. Now, opening a file can trigger a virus. Once a program virus is activated or active, it will infect other programs on your computer. You have Trojan horse. It is a malware that carries out malicious operation under the appearance of a desired operation, such as playing online games. You know, a lot of our children, right? They play online games a lot. So a Trojan horse varies from a virus because the Trojan horse binds itself to non-executable files, such as image files and audio files. What I want to talk about is the keylogger. Keylogger records everything. Remember when you have a laptop, right? Or computer. So when you are typing, right, it records everything that the users or user like you and I types on his or her computer system to obtain what? The passwords and other sensitive information and send them to the source of the keylogger program. So how to know if our devices are infected with malware? So if you want to know that your devices are infected, you will try to find out whether is your computer performing well? When your web browser directs you to a web you didn't intend to visit, this is known as a browser redirect. Now, warning about infections are frequently accompanied by offers to buy a product to treat them. Now, having trouble starting or shutting down your computer, right? Then you have persistent pop-up ads into your system. And so how do you protect them? Now, a large number of security software programs are made to both find and stop malware, as well as to eliminate it from infected systems. An anti-malware tool that handles malware detection and removal is Malwarebytes. That's one of the tools. So malware can be eliminated from Windows, Mac OS, Android, like Dr. Derek always like Android, like, and iOS operating system. The user's registry files currently running the program, hard drives, and individual files can all be scanned by Malwarebytes. Like I said, it is that tool that you can use to protect your computer. Malware can then be quarantined and removed if it is found. Users cannot, however, set automatic scanning schedule like they can with some other tools, right? Used to remove malware. Remember I told you guys about the Malwarebytes. Then you have malicious software remover tools. You have Bitdefender antivirus free editions and more. So what are the advantages? We do have advantages and disadvantages of malware or detecting and removing malware. So one of the advantages you have, like you improve the security, you prevent data loss, you protect reputation, and you increase the productivities. By you improving the security, you detect and remove malware individuals and organizations can improve the security of their systems, and it reduces the risk of the future infections. Now, when we talk about prevent the data loss, malware can cause data loss. And by removing it, individuals and organization can be our organization or any other organization like the federal government, the state, financial institution, and the health, can protect their important files and information. By protecting the reputation of your company, malware can cause harm to the company's reputation, and by dictating and removing it, individuals and organizations can protect their image and brand. So when it comes to increasing the productivity, malware can slow down the system and make them less efficient. By removing it, individuals and organizations can now increase the productivities of their system and employees. So what are the disadvantages? It's because it's time consuming. The process of detecting and removing the malware can be time consuming, and it requires what? A specialized tool and expertise. And as you know, it costs a lot of money. So by it costing a lot of money, antivirus software and other tools require what? To detect and remove malware, which can be very expensive to a lot of organizations and individuals. Now with individuals, you know that they may not even have the money to pay. Okay, it does have what? It has its difficulties, which means that it is constantly evolving. And the process of dictating and removing it can be very challenging, which requires what? Specialized knowledge. Whoever is specialized and who is knowledgeable and being an expert, as I said, because it's very difficult. If you don't have that specialty or an expert, you will not be able to take care of this problem by removing the malware. Then you have risk of data loss. Some malware removal tools can cause unintended harm, resulting what? In the data loss or the system instability. Malware include significant risk to both what? Individuals like you and I, and organizations like our company and any other company all over the world, which it requires proactive measures for protection and removals. Utilizing the combination of antivirus, anti-malware tools with software updates can effectively protect your system. Now, while dictating and removing malware, it can also be time-consuming and costly. The benefit to enhance security, data protection, and what? Which it also increase the productivity. I just want to thank you all, and this is the reference of where I got the information from. I want to thank you all for listening, knowing that we should do something to take care of our computers. Whenever there is an update from the manufacturer, do what it takes to please install the information that is being sent to you. And I want to take this moment to thank our CEO because of the heart that he has, the heart for humanity. And what he stated that either I do or I die. He is here to eradicate poverty and to uplift humanity. He loves you and I, and he is determined to do what it takes to make you and I happy. Are you excited? OnPassive is a company, an IT company that deals with artificial intelligence and machine learning. As you all know, there are a lot of companies all over the world that are utilizing it. Now, even though you are utilizing the artificial intelligence and machine learning, we also have to be careful when it comes to malware, right? Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you all. And I see you. And guess what? If nobody told you guys today, this evening, that they love you, let me take this word from Queen Larata. I love you guys with all my heart, mind, and soul. Thank you.
Thank you, Queen Sister Dr. Benny. I can see everyone applauding, and even Brother Carlton. Thank you. Thank you. And Queen Sister Sharon Whedon. Wow, that was outstanding. You nailed it, girl, in the malware presentation. And the pros and cons of them, well, if anyone, once the apples start coming in reality, you already have been informed as to what to expect, what to look forward to, and how to be mindful. So all you need to do is turn back to your notes and see on November 19th, 2024, what did Dr. Benny present in terms of malware, if that ever affects you. But I hope we don't get to that level, because everyone will be busy trying to figure out what to do with your wallet and how to spend whatever is falling in there. And hopefully there'll be no malwares. But until then, thank you all so much. Sister Dr. Benny, thank you. That was awesome. All right, this time we're going to open the floor for questions and discussions. Anyone who has questions for Dr. T or for Dr. Benny, our two, DT or BT, I should call it, Benny and Tunishai, they both presented today. If anyone has any question for them, this is the right time. Yes, Dr. Benny, I have to assign you to deal with this, to handle the question and discussions, because you're so good at it.
Sure, that's okay.
And after Queen JW, it will be Queen Sharon.
Sure. Queen
Thank
JW.
you, sis.
No problem. Queen JW, proceed.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Queen Debbie. And thank you most of all, Queen Dr. Benny, for that amazing presentation. I mean, every week you just help us to be more aware and bring the importance of how cybersecurity is to us. So we appreciate you so much. Thanks about this malware, because I sure didn't know anything about the different types. All I know, it says malware. So thank you so much for bringing all that information, and also, to let us know when our computer, or when we know there is a problem with our system, because sometimes we just say, oh, it's just slowing down, or we end up on another website, like you said, and we don't even know how we got there. Sometimes they done order and put you into a subscription that you're totally unaware of. So thank you so much to help us to be on top of these things and know what's happening with our computers. So thanks. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you so much, Queen JW. Your turn is coming on Thursday, that you'll be talking about your health, which you guys know that is difficult for me. Thank you so much. Yes, and when it comes to this malware stuff, as I told you, hackers would do. The reason why you guys know why I'm teaching, well, let me say I go and do my research. The time is coming that the hackers, you remember that at first, they don't know anything about OnPassive, right? Now that they know something is happening, that they believe in their mind that OnPassive is real, they will do a lot of things to trick you. They will send phishing emails for you with an attachment, right? When they send you that attachment, they ask you to click it. Why do you want to click it? Do you know that person? That is why I try to do my research, to bring some certain information, to share it to each and everyone. Thank you so much, Queen JW. All right. Our next brand ambassador or affiliate is Queen Sharon. Proceed.
Hello, beautiful. How are you doing tonight?
I can't complain.
Thank you. Great presentation as always. Really, really great. I never heard of the word malware. I didn't know anything about that, so thank you very much for educating us on that. And you were mentioning that malware has to do with also in games, like the games that we play online and that. And, many people play with games on their phone. I ride the transit, and there's always people playing like those Candy Crush and stuff like that. But I guess my question to you is, I guess malware is also the behind the children's games like Roblox and stuff like that. I heard that um, they can get on there and pretend that they're kids and trick the kids into playing with them, and then they start asking the children information, and that's so scary that you can do that. Especially there's a lot of autistic children on the spectrum that play these games, and they're just so, I mean, children are innocent anyways, but autistic kids on the spectrum, or any child with a disability or handicap, can be easily led from these hackers and these stalkers and these pedophiles, I guess you could say. And they can, because if you ask an autistic child, what's your parents' name? Where do you live? The kids would be like, oh, I live at 75, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, they'll just, because they don't think anything of it. And then I also heard recently that, how they have YouTube for children? Apparently, they're on there now, and they get into the games and stuff like that, and they turn like innocent little children's games, and they put little creepy things in there, like kids kissing, doing inappropriate things with adults and stuff, telling their kids to go play in traffic and stuff like that. So it's getting really, really scary. Like, the world we live in today is so scary. And so I really, really appreciate all the knowledge that you share with us, and educating us on how to be safe on social media. And like you started off by talking about the elderly, and that's really scary, because they grew up at a time where they didn't have all this, right? They didn't have social media and all this. And yes, a lot of elderly people have their laptops and they have their phones, and it's like a new toy for them with some of them, and they like to play their games, like poker or whatever the case may be. And they got to be very, very careful. So those are the ones, we have to reach out to as well, to let them know, how to be safe. And just one other thing, there's a woman that I heard that somebody called her and asked her, pretend that it was her son. And they had her, when she answered the phone, it was her son's phone number on the phone. So she actually really thought that she was speaking with her son that had a really bad cold. And so it's so scary out there. It's so hard. How do you protect yourself from all these people? You can only, you got to do what you got to do. But, there are some people that still get caught. So I just want to say thank you once again for sharing everything that you share with us today, and always. We really, really appreciate you, and thank you so much. Back to you, Sister Debbie. Back to you, Sister Benny.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Queen Sharon. I appreciate you. There are a lot of things happening to our children. I just pray that they will start learning from it. Let me say, if a hacker hijack one child, then some of these children now, they will learn from what happened and stop playing all those games, right? I don't know. It all depends upon them. I believe that is why I go out there, just do some of this research, also to teach our elderlies. The reason for teaching the elderlies is because you guys notice 419, they come and deal with our elders here in America, right? Because they don't have that knowledge. Then at the end, after they steal their dollars, they start crying, right? I'm talking about the 419s. So there are certain things that we have to do, and I'll do more and more research so that we can protect ourselves and our money before we start receiving the apples. Thank you again, Queen Sharon, Queen JW, King Carlton. I appreciate you all. Does anyone have any question or any excitement? I just want to let you all also know that despite the fact that you guys have not heard from our CEO, he is working behind the scene. He wants to make sure he gathers or bring more and more the best employees to perform the task, to develop our products. As you all know, we want to have the best product, a product that is better than any other product in the world. So that is what is happening at the moment. You guys should just be patient, stay. He is coming. And thank you all for also believing that unpassive is real. It's taking time, but as you know, our CEO is determined to do what it takes to come and make you happy pretty soon. Thank you all for listening. Does anyone have any additional comment or excitement? If not, I believe I'll call on Dr. Derek. And I can call on Queen Debbie McCormick. Are you available, Queen Debbie? Well, I believe Queen Debbie will always want to say, Queen Dr. T. Ford, that there's something that you should give us, your summary of today, please.
Okay. Thank you again, everyone, for allowing me to do this presentation. You know, and it came up with the topic. It was like, wow. It hit me like a ton of bricks because, we do measure success differently. And like I said, if I were to go around to each of you right now, we have 29 people on this webinar. I dare to say, and maybe if you all would just be honest with yourselves, many of you probably never even thought about the areas that I talked about as being an area that you could be successful in. Because we don't think about it that way. Again, we think about success being something that's tangible or something that man will give us kudos for, where you got your degree or you got a certificate in this or you got a brand new car or you're a world traveler and then people pat you on your back and tell you how wonderful you are. But how many times do we pat ourselves on our backs and when we accomplish things behind the scene that no one may be aware of? No one may not be aware of that you are teaching yourself to say no. No one may not be aware of that you're learning to be content in the area that you're in right now. No one may not be aware of that you're working on balancing, work life and your personal life. No one may not be aware of that, but you. And that's why it's so important to understand that no accomplishment is trivial, especially when it comes down to you pursuing purpose. It has nothing to do with just, with material things, but it has everything to do with you doing what God, your creator, has ordained you all to do. And the first thing you need to do is work on being the best version of yourself. And that means taking control of your life, like my book says, from the inside out, and not letting anybody hinder you from being the authentic person that you have been ordained to be. Say no. Be content. Work on long-term relationships. Face your fears. You know what I'm saying? And also have that balance that you need. Because when you accomplish those things, you are successful. You are successful. And never forget that. And don't let anyone ever tell you that differently, that you cannot accomplish these things. Like many of you who made comments said that I don't do this right and I'm not doing that yet. But if you're working on those areas, then you're well on your way to being a successful person. Dr. T has not arrived, okay? But I can promise you that I'm working on all of these areas too. So thank you so much for allowing me to share. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. T. We appreciate you, your knowledge, your consistency, your tenacity. We love you.
Thank you. I love you guys too. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I am going to give my own final thoughts. I talked about malware. That malware is a malicious software, right? Which it refers to any software that is being designed to cause harm to your computer system, your network, or the users. And we all know that malware comes in different type of forms. So individuals and organizations needs to be really aware of the different types of malware and take a lot of precaution in order to protect their system. Now, such as using what antivirus by keeping the software and the system up to date, and being cautious when opening your email attachment, as I keep letting you all know that if an attachment is being sent to you and you don't know that particular individual, please do not open it. Please. And as I stated, there are different types of malware. You have ransomware, you have adware, you have spyware. Let me just talk about the ransomware. Ransomware grasps the computer system or its data, which it contains what? It makes that victims to make payment. That's what the ransomware does. The ransomware encrypts the data and the computer with a key that is unknown to you. You and I, we are users. So the users now has to pay that ransom or a price to the criminal in order to retrieve that data. So once the amount is being paid, if we don't pay, it will not be given to us. So when the amount is being paid, to the victim now can now resume utilizing its own system, right? So malware steals files. It does. So once it is being installed on your device, it can get access into your personal data, and which it can also misuse or mishandle it according to the hacker's personal intent. So excessive active scanning of files and system process does consume some RAM and CPU usage, right? Which it may slow other computer system, right? So antivirus software is the most widely known product in the categories of malware protection products, despite the virus being in the name and offering what? It takes on all the forms of malware, while the high-end security, the pros dismiss it as obsolete. Now we talk about the backbones of a basic anti-malware defense. When it comes to more and more advanced corporate networks, the endpoint security offerings, which it provide what? A defense in depth against the malware. Now they provide not only the signature-based malware detection that you can expect from the antivirus, but anti-spyware, which is the personal firewall application control and other styles of host intrusion prevention. Now, as we all know, malware include what? The significant risk in both individuals like you and I, an organization like our company or any other company like the federal government, the state government, financial institution, and education, which it requires what? Proactive measures for what? The protection and the removal. So utilizing the combination of antivirus and anti-malware tools with software updates. Software what? Updates. It can effectively protect what? Your system. While detecting and removing the malware, it can be time consuming and costly. The benefit of enhanced security, the data protection, and which it can also increase what? The productivity. Thank you so much for listening.
Yes, peace, blessings, enough love. Thank you very much, Queen Dr. Benny, for that wonderful summary. Want to thank all participants and everyone on this webinar for the time you take out to join us here on Deep Dive. Thank you all very much. Any other person with any other questions, comments, or anything to divulge at this time? Yes, go
Hi,
ahead.
Dr.
Go ahead,
Derek.
Queen Sharon.
How are you, Dr. D?
I am blessed and fantabulously favored.
You bet. Yeah, are you traveling?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to make a comment on something that you said last week, if I can. You were talking about the radiation with cell phones and how important it is not to put the cell phone up to your ear. I just wanted you to know that I learned recently that iPhones have, if you go into your settings on iPhones, apparently there's a spot there that you can look at and it tells you exactly how much radiation is coming out of your phone. Did you know that?
No.
Dr. Derek?
No, I didn't,
Oh, I
and I
thought,
don't have an iPhone.
oh, I thought you were an iPhone user.
Oh, don't worry.
Oh, no, sister. I don't know where you get such an abomination
Okay, I
from.
knew you were against one or the other. I thought you liked iPhone better than Android for some reason. I
Oh,
apologize.
mercy. No, sister, no, queen,
I
not
apologize.
at all.
I don't know if they have it with the Android phones, because the person that I seen the video from said that, but I haven't had a chance to check the settings to see if it's on Android phones, but that is a good thing to have. But also with radiation, I really liked what you said about that, because I tell people all the time on how bad it is, like how much radiation you actually get off your phone. And it really bothers me that a lot of parents allow children to have phones at such a very young age, because they're just, causing brain tumors and, cancer and stuff like that in your head. And so, I liked what you said to telling people not to keep their phones in their pocket or in their brassiere, and that because of all the radiation that comes off of your phone. And also, I don't think that people should use ear pods, those Bluetooth and stuff like that. What's your thoughts on that?
Same thing, it's worse.
I agree. And we tell people that use those things all the time. They can't seem to live without their Bluetooth and their iPods or whatever they call them. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say.
That's okay. Oh, I didn't know that is not good to use the Bluetooth, the one on your ear.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good. Oh, I don't even have it. Never mind. I have
That's
one
good.
thing. I just want to read something that Mr. Hore said. This is really nice. He wrote and said that thanks Queen Dr. Benny and Queen Dr. T. Ford, my jovial cybersecurity expert. Wonderful presentation as usual. And Dr. Ford, exceptional marriage advisor and motivational speaker. I am so honored to be here in all wonderful people in all you wonderful people. Sometimes I am late, but I keep coming back because I learned so much. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. T. That's what Mr. Malcolm said. He
Thank you.
appreciates everything. Yes, please.
Thank you. Thank you
This
very
was
much.
yes, this is important. So I had to read this, because of he appreciate what you said. You are really a wonderful marriage motivational speaker, advisor. Thank you so much, Queen Dr. T.
Marriage. Okay. Okay.
Well, he loves it now. He loves it. No, I mean, he's an exceptional marriage advisor.
Oh, thank you.
Exceptional.
Okay.
Can you believe it? Exceptional.
All right,
Thank
now
you.
I receive that. I receive it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Horace. Malcolm, we appreciate you. And thank you, Queen Doris. Thank you, Queen Sharon. Thank you, Queen JW. Queen Antoinette. Thank you for your acknowledgement, your support. Queen Teda King, we appreciate you all. King, oh, actually, Queen Teda King says, excellent presentation, Dr. T. You nailed it. Those 5 points are very important to all of us. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. We look forward to the other 5 points next week, Dr. T. Queen Teda can say, excellent presentation, Dr. Benny. Thank you for all that you do each week to educate us. Keep up with the great work. Hey, thank you so much, King Teda King.
Thank you, Theda. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. So, Dr. Derek, can you close out the YouTube?
Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. All right. Hope I sound a little better.
Yes.
I think I'm in a better spot because I'm seeing a cell site right there. So it must be a better spot. Okay. Peace, blessings, enough love to everyone. Thank you all very much. Thank you very much once again, Queen Debbie. Really appreciate. Thank you very much, Queen Dr. T and Queen First Lady Dr. Benny. Really appreciate. You have you have both bring such knowledge and such wisdom to this webinar that really appreciate. We miss you, Dr. T. We miss you. And we really appreciate that you didn't stay so little longer. Thank you very much for coming back quickly. Really appreciate. Thank you very much. We don't have any resound to give you any hand clap. Thank you very much, Queen Dr. T. And of course, Pastor Tony. Thank you both very much. Appreciate it. All right, so we do thank you all for showing up and coming here once again to our deep dive, and we do have other webinars that are sister platform to this platform. And a lot of us, if not most of us who speak here, speak also on those other platforms. And so come every day in the week. We have none other than Queen Yvonne and Dr. Yvonne that host a program 1 p.m. every weekday, Monday through Friday. We have Julie Pierre on Wednesday, and we do come back again on Thursday with 2 webinars, one for Singapore, Malaysia in the morning, and one which is deep dive again on Thursday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, because I remember that we fall back 1 hour. So it's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. And on Sunday, every Sunday, it's Dream Team, 12:45 Eastern Standard Time. And then Monday, it's Miriam Edwards, Queen Miriam Edwards with Mindset Monday. All right, so join us on those webinars also, where you get some mindset and brain power building, because that is what is necessary at this time. We want to know what is important at this time as we are patiently waiting for passive to fully unfold. Is your mindset, your self-worth, your character. That is what we're building. Because money and bad character, you just do bad things same way as Queen Dr. T always say, and all of her presentation also unfolds that if you have a bad mindset, you with money you don't get a good mindset. You're still going to have a bad mindset, right? So thank you very much. And at this time, we are going to close down this section of our webinar. And then we are going to move into the after party with Queen Dr. Nadu and King Bishop and Queen Dr. Benny. All right. So thank you all very much for showing up. Really appreciate, really appreciate, really appreciate. And over to you, Queen Dr. Nadu.
I just wanted to
Just
say,
for
Dr. Derek,
Thank you very much.
Dr. Derek, I just wanted to say, I don't think YouTube went on tonight. I went on there a couple of times and it wasn't on. And it still said
no,
waiting.
because I couldn't do it on the fly while I'm on
Okay.
the road.
Okay.
What
I just wanted
we
to make
call
sure
it
you knew
again?
that.
Yeah. We're going to try load it up tonight. All right, if not first thing in the morning. We couldn't do it on the road with Zoom. It didn't allow me to do it while I was on the fly. All right, so we yearn for Okanek to come back because we could. No, Okanek couldn't do YouTube as yet. All right, but we couldn't do it on we'd have to we couldn't do it. So unfortunately, it just didn't happen.
Okay.
YouTube didn't happen. Sorry for those on YouTube. Really appreciate. So thank you very much, Queen Sharon. And thank you all, our kings and queens in house. And over to you, Queen Dr. Nadu.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Derek. Dr. Benny. Dr. Benny?
Yes, please.
Yeah, since Brother Bishop is not here, you can
So I
look
have to
for
read the Bible.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.